Hi everyone, Taylor Sharp here. This video will discuss 4 laws on education in Taiwan. Taiwan, officially the Republic of China, has a high degree of academic achievement. Students consistently score high on math and science tests, and just under 40% of the population goes on to get an undergraduate degree. I asked a Taiwanese friend about laws that stuck out to her from her schooling, which I then independently researched. Those 4 laws are, number 1, 12 years compulsory education. Number 2, 2 important tests, a high school entrance exam called the Huikao and a college entrance exam called the Zhikao. Number 3, there's an ongoing national debate about what is taught in history books, and the laws change with each new administration. Number 4, Taiwanese Aboriginals get a boost to their college exam scores. Alright, the first law, 12-year education. The name of this law is found in a 2011 update to Article 3 of Taiwan's Educational Fundamental Act, and it encompasses much more than just a switch to 12 years of education. Starting in 1968, Taiwan made 9 years of education compulsory. At the time, very few nations required this much schooling. As the decades wore on, however, Taiwan fell behind. So in 2010, the Ministry of Education announced a new plan called the White Paper on Human Resource Development to overhaul the education system. This included making 12 years of schooling compulsory. It became the law in 2011 in an update to Article 3, and it was set to commence in 2014, though adaptation has been slow and it hasn't quite reached every area of the country, especially rural areas. The Department of Education took into account curriculums from other countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, China, Hong Kong, Japan, Finland, and New Zealand. Across this broad range of countries, similarities include a focus on learners rather than teachers, unlocking student potential, attending to individual difference, and training a wide variety of skills. These changes have been a challenge with Taiwan's large classrooms, as middle and high school classes often have 40 to 50 students. Change has traditionally been implemented from the top down in Taiwan, limiting the effectiveness of these reforms. As we are only a couple of years into the new 12-year standard, it seems reasonable to expect some growing pains. So far, other challenges have included continuity for students who started in the old system, restructuring the curriculum, updating pedagogy, and providing sufficient resources for teachers. All in all, though, the new plan seems reasonable, and I have hope that Taiwan will be successful in fully switching over from their previous way of organizing primary and secondary education. Next, number 2, Huikao and Zhikao. In Taiwan, elementary and middle school attendance are based on a student's location, as in which school is closest, but high school is something that students must apply for. So at the end of middle school, students take the basic competency test, or Huikao, and get placed in a high school based on their results. Students also have the option of taking a different exam in order to attend a vocational school. The Huikao is multiple choice and covers 5 subjects: Chinese, English, mathematics, natural science, and social sciences. Next is the exam for college. Testing is inevitable for the college applicant in Taiwan, but recent reforms have opened up the option of recommendations. The first testing option, the Zhikao, includes multiple 100-minute exams across different subjects. The next route, the recommendation route, leads to students taking a different test, also across multiple subjects, and they select from a list of possible majors that they're interested in. This all may be changing soon, though. In 2009, the Ministry of Education released guidelines for phasing out exams for high school admittance, instead relying on faculty recommendations, direct application by students, and basic supplemental exams to aid high schools in selecting among applying students. However, there's been a lot of pushback against this new way of doing things from teachers, parents, and students alike. The common complaint is that they were not asked about the new plan and that it won't do anything to diminish the hyper-competitive nature of Taiwanese schools. Number 3, history controversy. The way that history is presented in schools is often contentious. Japan has made headlines in recent years for debate over its history textbooks. A similar issue exists in Taiwan, where there is an ongoing struggle over emphasizing either the Taiwanese or the Chinese side of the island's history. This began in 2006, when the Democratic People's Party, DPP, changed school curriculums to teach Taiwanese and Chinese history as separate topics. The opposing Nationalist Party came to power in 2008, and in 2013 began looking into changing history books once again. Rather than focusing on the question of Taiwan's identity, however, the new books presented the KMT's own troubled history in a more positive light. When I asked my Taiwanese friend about the topic for this video, she mentioned the 228 incident. So named because it occurred on February 28, 1947, the ruling KMT killed a large number of Taiwanese protesters. The day is now a national holiday of remembrance in Taiwan. This event is largely glossed over in the new textbooks. Also, the next 4 decades saw martial law in Taiwan, known as the White Terror. The new textbooks emphasize the need of the government to discover communist dissidents and maintain order, and credit the KMT with ushering in Taiwan's democracy between the 1970s and the 1990s. Critics feel that this ignores both the atrocities of the KMT during the White Terror and the hard work of democracy activists. In 2015, students protested in multiple cities over the new guidelines, but they were adopted anyway. However, the DPP reclaimed the presidency and the legislature in 2016, and it seems only a matter of time before yet another round of textbook revisions recur. Right? And number 4, Taiwanese Aboriginals get a boost to their college exam scores. Since the Republic of China government moved to Taiwan in 1949, it has had specific policies for the Taiwanese Aborigines with regards to education. In its most current form, Aboriginal high school students receive an additional 35% added to their college exam entrance score on the condition that they can pass a proficiency test related to their Aboriginal language. If they fail, they're allowed to try again later for 30% and keep trying at 5% reductions each time they take the test. It wasn't always like this, however. Originally, the previous Japanese colonists had special schools for the Aborigines. From 1949 to 1961, the new KMT government responded by improving Aboriginal schools and providing funds to improve facilities, strengthen administration, and hire additional teachers. In 1962, the policy turned toward one of equal treatment. The government decided the best route was to treat Aborigines as simply students from remote areas. This led to the fusion stage from 1963 to 1967. Aboriginals were encouraged to mix with non-Aboriginals and adopt Han culture and the Mandarin language. Students were given free textbooks and stationery, as well as other subsidies. Since this time, by the way, the government's stance on language has been reversed, and minority languages of all kinds have been encouraged in recent years in an effort to preserve them. Starting in 1988 and going until the year 2000, the Ministry of Education established the Aboriginal Education Committee in order to help the Aborigines adapt to the modern world while maintaining their culture. Finally, since 2000, the Aboriginal Education Committee has been folded into the Ministry of Education. Efforts to provide education opportunities have increased, including the current exam bonuses, the 35% mentioned earlier. Taiwan's constitution guarantees that 6 legislative seats go to Aboriginal legislators, and the current president is 1/4 Aboriginal, so there is continued pressure to improve conditions for Aboriginal people while maintaining their respective cultures. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed that.